For all these exercises, we need a nice sturdy chair, something which is giving you nice support and you're able to come up without it slip sliding or anything like that. We just start by just tapping the heels and toes, and then just bring your feet to a nice little halt. Now we need to come forward in the chair, so if you just rest your hands on the side of the chair and try and do a nice big hip walk, bringing yourself forward on this chair as far as you feel comfortable to do so, with your feet nice and flat on the floor. We need to have a nice right angle going through our legs, so your heels are under your knees and your knees are nicely in line with your hips. So we're just going to start with a nice little knee march, just marching through those feet a little bit, and then just bring those feet to a halt. And we're going to go to the shoulders, so just gently to start with, rolling the shoulders backwards, bringing them forward, taking them up and back, and forward, up and back. And then just let these arms come down nice and long by your side and take them into a nice little sweep. Again, not too vigorous to start with, just letting the arms just sweep gently forwards and back. And then just bringing these arms to rest them wherever they feel comfortable, and then very gently turn your head to the right and back to centre, and over to the left and back to centre, and just one more, over to the right and back to centre, and over to the left and back to centre. Then we're going to go back to the legs, so we're just going to do a little heel dig out with those heels, just gently digging out, and we start to bring some arms in at the same time, so just very gently just bringing the arms up, bringing the fingers towards the shoulders. Don't worry too much if your arms don't feel like they want to do the same thing as your legs, so coordination's quite difficult. Lovely. And then feet nice and flat on the floor. Make sure we've always got those nice width in the feet, and then we're just going to bring the hands together at the front, and we're just going to tuck the elbows into your side and just very gently just sweep them side to side, just turning your upper body as you go around into that little sweep side to side. And then bring those hands to a nice little stop and just rest them down again, and then we go into that shoulder roll again. Now trying to make those shoulders roll a little bit bigger, so we're coming forward, up and back, and just one more, so we're going forward, up and back, and then just let those arms drop down. We go back into that little march with your feet, but this time we're going to bring some arms in. Bring some arms in, that's it. And you can sweep those arms a little bit higher if you want this time. Excellent. Resting the hands wherever they feel comfortable. With the right leg, we're going to dig with the heel and tap with the toe. Dig with the heel, tap with the toe. And if you can, try and get the toe in the same spot as the heel. That will make the ankle do the biggest movement it will do in that direction. And then place that heel down just for a second, then pick it up again, and a nice little turn through that foot, and then in the other direction, and then place it down. Super. Going to the other leg, to the left leg. So we're going to dig with the heel and tap with the toe. Dig with the heel, tap with the toe. Dig and tap, and dig and tap. And then place that heel down for a second, then pick it up again, round in a circle, and then take it in the other direction, and then place that foot down on the floor, making sure you've got that nice width in your feet again. And we're going back to the arms, so this time I'm going to pick up the hands and give those wrists a nice little turn in a circle, and then in the other direction. And bring those hands down to rest. So next we're going to stand up. If you've got the nice right angle going on with your legs, so your heels are under your knees nice and in line with the hips, you should be able to see your toes peeking out beyond your knees, but sitting up really nice and tall and pulling that tummy muscles in. And we just need to just dink those heels back just a little tiny touch, so the toes just disappear. And we go for a little lean forward, drive up through those legs, and then just give the feet a nice little march, and then bring them to a halt and make yourself go round to the back of the chair. And then from there we're going to set our posture up, so nice little bit of width in those feet, hips tucked forward a little bit, tummy pulled in, shoulders back and relaxed, and then we just take it into a nice little march. And just letting those arms just swing by your side if you can. If you don't feel comfortable letting your arms swing, just rest your fingers on the back of the chair. And then we're going to do some little side steps. So little side steps like a crab, going off to the right hand side of the chair, and then take a little step forward with that right leg, and we're going to take it into just a little tiny sway, just going forward and backwards, but keeping that hand in contact with the chair. Super. And then just bring your feet to a halt, push yourself back off that front foot, and then pick up the heel of the right leg and just give that heel a nice little twist. So we're getting that movement going right up into that hip joint, and then place that foot down and into those little marching steps again, and we go like a crab sideways to behind that chair. We're going to go into a little roll through those hips and go in the other direction, and then we're going to go sideways again. So sideways step in, take a little step forward with that left leg, and just take it into a little sway. And then bring your feet to a halt, push yourself back, pick up the heel and just give the heel a little twist, and then place it down, little sideways step in, and we're going back behind the chair. This is our little bit of endurance, so we're going to start with a march through the legs. If you feel you can swing the arms, then just let the arms swing by your side. If not, just keep them in contact with the chair. And standing nice and tall with those shoulders back. And then we're just going to tap to the corner of that chair leg. Just tap to the corner of the chair leg. Just nice and gently, just at your own time. So this little section, we need to make sure that you're working within your own limits. So if you feel a little bit too out of breath, take a little break and either go back to little marching or have a complete little rest for a second or two. But otherwise we're keeping going. So we're marching through these feet again. And this time we're going to take a step back. Try and step if you can onto the ball of your foot, and we're doing a little bounce off those toes. So stepping back and bouncing off those toes. Trying to keep looking forward the whole time, so we've got nice balance for the whole of the little movement. And we just go into those little marches through those feet again. Little marches through those feet. And then take little sideways steps over to the side and step and push. And step and push. And step and push. Now we need to start to think about balance. So we're going to put in a little, what we call a corrective step. So we're going to stamp and push back. Stamp, push back. stamp, push back. And if you want to bring an arm in, you can do. So just bringing that arm nicely out to the side. And last one, and push back. Stamp and push, stamp and push. So the arm is coming out a little bit faster as well, like it would if the leg was stamping. The arm's coming out to the side. And just two more. And arm down and into those little marching steps if you can. And we're taking those little marching steps like a crab, and we're going back behind the chair again. And this time we're going to just go a little bit wider with those feet. So about the width of the chair legs. And then from there we take it into a sway. So this time we're just swaying, just transferring that weight from one leg to the other. And if you feel confident enough with the arms to let go of the chair a little bit, just let those arms swing. And those feet, as we sway, that heel is just coming off the floor a little bit on each side as we sway side to side. And then we're just going to bring those arms down. Bring those feet to a halt. Bring yourself back into your normal stance. And we're going to the left side. Take a step forward with that left leg. Once you've checked your feet, you must look forward and push back. And step and push back. So we're just staying with that same leg. And we're just stepping and pushing back. And step and push back. And once you're confident enough that you've got good balance through those legs and that foot's coming down in the right place, we need to bring an arm in. So it comes nicely out to the side. And then we can bring it into a little stamp step again. So thinking about when you lose balance. Stamp and push back. Stamp and push back. Stamp and push back, stamp, push back. So stamp, push back, two more, stamp, push back, stamp, push back, stamp, push back. Bringing yourself gently forward, feeling that chair behind the backs of your legs really important. We're going to do what we call a little squat and stop, or a pretend sit down. We can use our arms for balance and support, and we can also use them for power and momentum. So we take the bottom backwards, keeping the chest and the head looking forwards, bringing the arms forward, and then as we drive up, those arms come back. So coming forward and back, good. Forward and back. And we start to put a little bit more momentum in there. So we keep that momentum going, of keeping ourselves getting out of breath a little bit, and back, down and back, down and back. Last one, down and back. Little marching steps, and then bring yourself to a nice little halt. Now we're going to do the same movement. This time we're going to take ourselves completely back into the chair. Two ways you can do this. You can use the arms out the front, or you can reach for the chair. If you reach for the chair, important to keep your eyes and your head looking forward, and lower yourself into that chair. Feet nice and flat on the floor. And then we need to do a nice big hip walk again, bringing ourselves forward on that chair, so we've got a nice posture. And then make a fist with the hands. And then we're going to bring the hands and bring them up towards the shoulders and back down again. So thumbs are facing forward, and then thumbs come up and they face out to the side and come back down again. And up with those knuckles and back down. And up with those knuckles and back down. And let these arms come nicely down by your side again. This time we're going out to the side, so both arms together. We're going out directly to the side, just bringing the arms as high as you feel comfortable to do so, and bringing the arms back down again. It's important that the upper body doesn't move, so keeping a really nice long length in that spine as we go up and back down again. And then bring the hands together at the front. This time we're going to draw them up the front of the body and back down. It's important that the elbows stay above the wrists. So again, just bringing the hands just as far as you feel comfortable to do so, up the front of that body. At the elbows are staying nice and high. That keeps the wrists and everything nice and flat. And just one more, elbows up and back down, and then rest your hands. So for the next exercise we need to stand up. So again, thinking about that right angle in your legs, just take those heels back a little tiny touch just so those toes disappear from behind your knees, and we do a little lean forward, driving up through those legs, standing up nice and tall. Little bit of movement through those feet to start with when we first stand up, and then just bring your feet to a nice little halt. So for the next exercise we need to find a nice flat wall. So the next exercise we're going to do is a wall press. So basically it's a strength exercise for working the whole of the upper body. The technique is really quite important. So hands onto the wall, just directly in front of your shoulders and shoulder width apart. Keeping your body like a plank, you're just going to press into the wall and press back out again. So keep looking forward and lead with your chest and come back out again. To progress the exercise and make it a little bit harder, by taking your feet back a little bit so it makes more of an angle to the wall with your body. But important to keep it like a plank. So as you press in, you're leading with your chest. So keeping your head up looking forward, lead with your chest and back out again. And try and get a full range of movement so that you're pressing in as far as you can and pressing back out to those nice straight arms again. And pressing in and pressing out. Bring yourself back into your nice first position and then drop your arms down. And then we're going to come round the back of the chair, making sure you've got a good posture to start with, so nice width in your feet, soft through those knees, tummy pulled in, shoulders back and relaxed. And then we're just going to take the inside leg, we're just going to take it backwards and bring it back again, and take it backwards and bring it down, and take it back and bring it down. Then from there, little marching steps, so keeping your body moving all the time. Take yourself round towards the back of the chair again and over to the other side. Set your posture up again, nicely looking forward. Keeping one hand in contact with that chair. We're just going to take one leg backwards and bring it forward. And take it back and bring it forward. And take it back and forward. And back and forward. And just one more. So we're going back and forward. And then we're going back behind that chair again. And that's our little strength session finished. Well done. So now we're going to go on to some balance exercises. So using the chair as much as you need to for support, but quite important that you try not to push off the chair. And the first one we're going to do is we're going to go onto our toes. So we're going to lift up those heels and go as high as you can onto them toes, holding it there at the top, feeling the weight right through the big toe and the one next to it, and then slowly lowering those heels down under control. And we're going to come up one more time and back down again. And just one more, up onto those toes, getting the weight right through that big toe and the one next to it, keeping control of those heels the whole time. I'm just going to turn the chair around again, but you don't need to do this. So standing by the back leg of the chair, just bring your feet together a little bit, and then with your right leg or with the outside leg, just slide it forward. Now you can either stay in this little one step, or you can slide it across and just bring that heel into your toe as if you're standing on a tightrope. And we need to be standing really nice and tall and getting those shoulders back. Keeping the inside hand on the chair for balance and support. Now if we need to step out, if we lose balance, we step out to the side with the front leg. So from there, standing up really nice and tall, and then we're just very gently just going to drift our way into the front leg. And just hold it there for a second. And then bring your weight back, nice and even, so that you've got the same amount of weight going through both feet again. And then next we need to take the weight into the back leg. So just drift from your upper body, just taking that weight into your back leg. Keeping the front one in contact with the floor, but only just. And then very gently bring your weight forward again. And standing nice and tall. And take a step out to the side. Bringing yourself to the side of the chair. Just gently bring your feet together. Keep that inside hand on the chair. Now take a little step forward and either stay there in that one step or come across into that heel toe, so we're standing on that tightrope again. Stand as tall as you can, keeping the knees nice and soft and keeping those shoulders back. And then very gently take your weight or take your upper body forward, so you're bringing most of your weight into that front leg. Just hold it there for a second and then bring yourself back so you've got the weight evenly distributed between 2 feet. And then this time take the weight into the back leg. So all the weight is pressing through that back heel and the front foot is just nicely in contact with the floor. And then bring yourself back nice and even and take a step out to the side. Cooling down now, so we're bringing the muscles and the body and everything back to the way it was just before we started exercising. So we're going to come forward and sit down in the chair again. Standing nice and tall, keeping your head looking forwards. We're going to lower into that chair, nice and gently. And then we need to come forward again. So nice big hip walk, getting those hips off the chair if you can. Coming as far forward as you feel comfortable to do so. Hands onto the thighs. Then take one leg forward. Getting this leg as straight as you can. So if it's not quite straight, you might have to just wiggle yourself a little bit further forward on the chair. Hands onto the bent leg, nicely on the thigh. And then we're just going to very gently tip forward, but I want you to just keep looking forward. And then we're stretching this muscle at the back of the leg at the top. So once you feel a tightness in that muscle, just hold it there. And we need to be trying to hold these little stretches at the end for about 20 to 30 seconds on each one. And then bring yourself up, draw that leg in, take out the other leg, hands onto the bent leg, sitting nice and tall, And then very gently tip yourself forward, keeping your head looking up, just until you feel the tightness in that muscle, back of the leg at the top, and then just hold it there. And then very gently bring yourself up, draw that leg in, sitting up nice and tall, going for just one big roll through these shoulders. As big as you can now, all the way forward, all the way up, and all the way back. And then just place your hands onto the top of your thighs and sit nice and tall, and just drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. And then bring your head back up to centre, and left ear to left shoulder. And back up to centre. We're going to stretch this muscle at the back of the arm here. So bring your fingers up towards your shoulder, and then with the other hand just guide it upwards. Again, just as far as you feel comfortable to do so without having to clunk your head to one side. And very gently bring yourself down. And then with the other hand, so with your left hand, bring your fingers towards your shoulder. Again, just as far as they'll come, don't worry if you can't quite touch your shoulder. And then with the other hand, just guide it upwards, very gently, in an upwards direction. And then bring that arm down. Bring your hands out to the side, bring them together at speed and give yourselves a big clap.